the time.
Forever? Tangent. Old.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Calm down. AK haters.
But what if it could?
Behold the
Disney
majesty of the
breeze.
Sistine Ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't Dillo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Days. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank. This recording is not happening on January 30th,
Correct.
where the audio is dropping here on your favorite podcatcher today. It is technically, as of this Theme Park Thursday, January 30th, but it is well before that. It is before Jen's birthday, which has taken place as of 3 days ago. So as this podcast drops, you are now another year older. How are you feeling?
That's great. That's so great. Thanks so much for bringing that up. I do think, first of all, we are professional podcasters. And as such, 2025 has started with us being ahead of the game and recording things well ahead. And I say that as it could be anything, but it's been a week or more, sometimes weeks before that we've never done such craziness. So I do believe you mentioned this on the episode that dropped prior to this as well, that my birthday was coming up. You know, it's great. It's just great. Next year, I'm going to bring back the Forever 44 Fedora Club. So
Coming back next year.
next year.
Next year.
this
Forever
year.
44 in 2026. Back.
Mhm.
Just to double the fun here,
Mm.
since it is January 30th in your favorite podcatcher, that means Disney over for you.
Disney over. Disney has come and gone in between recording this and this dropping.
Mhm.
It's over. By the way, the 8-year-old, as we count down and mention things, places will be, she'll be like, but that means it'll basically be over. No. 8-year-old, where do you get such crazy thoughts and DNA from to be freaking out about what we'll be doing on our last day in Disney?
Hey, it's fun how it just gets into the bloodstream like
Nature,
that.
nurture? I don't know. You know.
But I don't want to compare our guest to our children, your children and my child today. But some of the things that we have imparted on this during this podcast over the years has also infiltrated mindsets and bloodstreams. That's not right. But here we are with a guest today. There's a lot to talk about because she had an epic trip December into January. I don't know. She was away for about 6 years.
I think she's been gone for the end of 2024 into 2025. I don't even know where she is now. I don't even know.
well, we're going to get into that too. We know where she is. She's right there out on Long Island. Let's just bring her right in. It is our Dillo's Diz resort guest. It's Lexi.
Yay!
Hello.
I still can't figure out Frank's segue, but okay. I still.
Well, Lexi mentioned the other day, noting that when we talk about the animal kingdom, things like that, it goes across. But it works both ways because Lexi, planted the seed in my brain that, you need the next trip planned so that it doesn't hit as hard when you leave. And
Yeah.
this is something I have learned because of Lexi, and I'm not happy about it. It's not something I ever thought about. I always knew I was going back. But now it's the idea that I need something planned when I'm leaving. Like I always think I'm going back.
But it's a good thing. Isn't that a good thing?
It's the knowledge that you're going back. It's not that I hope I will go back.
Right.
Yeah, but I always think I'm going back. But it's but Lexi, yeah, she put in that knowing, and that's it. Now, like in September, at the time, there were thoughts, but there was nothing planned. So I was like, this is when we did the meetup, I was like, I have nothing after this. We did a Universal trip, we did the Disney cruise, we did the meetup. Yeah. And then I was like, that was months of like, I got stuff.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the meetup, it was like, oh, there's nothing. And I blame Lexi for that.
You know how you can fix that? if you do the Run Disney races, then you know you're coming back every year.
Oh, that's good. I mean, this is an excellent point. Lexi, I don't know if you heard us recently talking about our plans for Run Disney. We have big
No, I think I
plans.
missed it.
Yeah. I don't know. Frank is talking in 3 years. We might do it. I don't know what his timeline is. I don't know why he thinks 3 years is better and we'll be more in shape. I don't know.
It would be the 10 years of the podcast.
Here we go. Here we go with the 10 years.
And that was the way to kick the 10-year mark.
Does that mean you're ending the podcast then?
But don't get everyone upset.
No, this is when Frank thinks that means it's successful. Anything that happens before 10 years, not successful. 10 years, successful.
Well, then just think how much better it's going to get.
Right. I don't know that I even agree. We have to really deep dive into that. I mean, I know we've done it a little bit here and there, but like your definition of success in order to make it like, oh, well, that will be successful. So far, we've done okay.
Listen, I'm just saying that you can have success throughout the 10 years, right? But if you work at it for 10 years, usually it then elevates. Now, we are the organic, natural growth type of people. We don't push. We don't want to scare people off. So I'm saying we're in an organic place where we're just doing the thing. And I think if you do the thing for 10 years, it naturally gets to another level.
But why not sooner?
Can I ask a Dillo question?
Oh, sure.
What if at the 10-year mark, it doesn't get better? It just stays the same.
Oh, wow. Great question, Lexi. Frank?
Listen, we don't have Dr. Matt waiting in the green room here to...
We need Dr. Matt on every episode with us, just sitting in the green room to watch it and then bring him up at the end. So what'd you think about that? What can you tell us about? But back to the Run Disney. So we were also thinking that as we train for this in 3 years, that you and I would then have to train together on Long Island, and you would have to be my personal trainer, and then that could be a ton of content for everyone to laugh at. So be like, Lexi, stop making me do this. It's gonna be me crying most of the time, and
be like, come on, do it for the spring rolls, do it for the Mickey bars.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Rachel and Phoebe.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Let's just touch on that for a second there, because in November, and now it's the end of January somehow already, but this seems very recent that Jen and Lexi, though they practically share the same zip code, finally saw each other on Long Island.
Yes.
Yes.
That was big. And it took Nate to make it happen. Had Nate not come from a different state to Long Island, who knows? I don't know if we would have seen each other.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have happened.
Yeah. And we did also realize, I think, that day that Lexi had worked probably 2 minutes from me back in the day. So not only, are we that close, like she's basically worked in my neighborhood, years ago. So that's
literally passing. It's kind of like when you ignored me at Stony Brook.
I mean, that is still a mystery. I cannot.
I mean, I'm just going to keep building this story until like literally we have like this, like we've been in the same room. We just decided not to talk to each other.
I mean,
yes. I can't wait till there's a photo that emerges from Stony Brook. And like Frank is over there. And then if you look, oh, there's Lexi. And you guys are just in the same picture, the same room, something.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Still, that's something still in my brain. Because I like to pride myself on a really good memory, and I'm very observant and aware, completely naive. But those other things, yes. But but I don't understand how I cannot see you in my mind's eye as I scroll through those years at Stony Brook.
Well, wasn't that part of the mid-2000s for you?
I mean, that is all mid-2000s.
Yeah,
as I recently said to Jen, 2003 to 2009 are kind of just like, there's like a...
Yeah,
like,
your mid-2000s are longer than my mid-2000s of blackout, yeah.
So
I don't question why I would have missed you, because I'm like usually doing 16 things and like have an end goal in mind.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do question how your good memory didn't, remember me.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the big mystery. I've even found some Stony Brook University theater department, just to make sure I'm specific in what we're talking about for the listeners. That I found some programs recently, and I was like, maybe Lexi's name is in one of these. But no,
But didn't you guys work on the same show or something?
no, I think we established we did not.
I think we were
Oh.
on opposite shows. I think I
Okay.
worked on How to Drive or something.
Yeah, how I
It
learned to
was-
drive.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And which is they were running opposite, right? So
Mhm.
one would like run one night, and then Suburbia would run the next night, and then that's how that went.
Yeah.
But yet,
So Lexi could have been backstage while you were figuring things out.
I know for a fact on that show I worked quick change. So I was yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
weird. It's just
Interesting.
so weird. But did you guys establish when you met up in November that there would be more Long Island coffee dates? Like, was there a plan made? Like, what?
A
No, but she-
plan.
that she would allow it.
Yes, I would allow it from happening. We got to we were walking out to our cars together, and I was like, how
Oh.
weird that we're walking to our cars
Yeah.
together. Our cars are parked in the same place. This is so exciting. Yeah. And I appreciate Nate because I did mention we went to a mall, which Lexi, I feel bad because I didn't take you on like a Dillo's tour of, things from our past that I could point out. But I appreciate Nate for picking a location where we didn't have to go into the mall so close to Thanksgiving time. We can kind of just stay outside. That was nice.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk about your trip and all the things involving your trip, because there's a lot to get
Trip.
through. I think we're going to end up working backwards from the most recent to the furthest past, because it's like memento on this podcast sometimes. And since Theron Skis loves Christopher Nolan so much, we might as well do this backwards. So like I said, you were away for about 6.5 years, it seems like, from the end of December to the beginning of January. Can you just take me through where you started, even the non-Disney stuff, and where you ended?
Okay. So I started December 20th. I went to Vegas with my family. We drove out to Page, Arizona. We drove back to Vegas. My family left. I drove to Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
I drove back to Vegas. I flew to Long Island.
Oh,
I was there for less than a week. And then I went to Florida for a weekend. And then I returned on the 13th of January.
My God. You were already only in Florida for a weekend?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You did so much. I felt
I
like you
know.
were there for a week. I'm like, I don't know if Lexi's back. She's doing so many things. I don't know what's happening.
We went down Saturday and we came back Tuesday.
Oh, man. That's a Dillo trip right
It
there.
really was a Dillo trip.
see, this is what I'm saying. Things that we have put into people's
That's right.
brains and into their veins. That's what I
Yeah.
didn't want to say bloodstream. I wanted to say veins.
Veins.
Brains and veins. I wanted to rhyme last time.
Oh, I see. Now you have it.
Yeah. We only had 2 days in the park. So we were like, we're going to go for broke on this.
How come you? And maybe I'm forgetting. So obviously you did the half and the full, right?
I did just the full this year.
Oh, you just did the full. But in
Yeah.
the past, have you done Dopey before? Have you or not done Dopey before?
So I did Dopey last year.
Mhm.
And I swore I would never do it again
Oh,
unless
mhm.
my best friend decided to do it. And he was adamant against doing it. But I think he's going to betray me based off of that weekend. So I might have to do it again. And I don't back up on my word. So I think it might happen again, unfortunately.
Nice.
So was that just because of your friend you just decided to do the full, or you personally were like, I'm doing one, that's it?
I like the full. The full is my favorite. Like
Mhm.
that's my favorite race. So like I'll do them also. Like I did the Philly full in November, and in April I'll be doing the one at Jersey City. Like I'm a glutton for punishment. So I don't want to just race. I don't want to just run. I also want to have like an emotional breakdown in the middle of the race and
Mhm.
like push through, have one more breakdown right before the finish line, cross it, bawl my eyes out, and then sign up for 3 more races.
I mean, that sounds cathartic.
It's very cathartic.
To be clear, when we were discussing training,
Mm-hmm.
I will not be doing the full, and I'm talking training for like a 5K. That's it. So
here's the thing, for the Disney 5K, you don't need to train. They don't have a time limit, and you can walk the entire thing.
no, I mean, and I will gladly do that as someone who walked the streets and ran the curves in the high school mile. But I feel like with you, like I should be, if we're I got to keep up with you, Lexi.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
I mean, that's fine.
You're good. We'll stroll. I do a method that the Galloway method is what Run Disney recommends, which is like run, walk, run. So like you'll run for like say 45 seconds and then you'll walk for 30 seconds and you'll do that for the entire race. And it's like better for recovery.
I like this idea. I didn't realize I was doing a method in high school, but I guess that's what I was doing. So I was ahead of the game, really.
Did you ever run the straight and walk the curves? Or did you walk the curves?
I walked the curves I ran the curves because those are shorter than the streets. Then I could like walk. And then people were like, we'll do it with you. And then they bailed on me. It's fine. That's for another podcast, high school.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of Dr. Matt references.
I was just saying, you need Dr. Matt again.
So it's one of your breakdowns during the race in Animal Kingdom because you realize how far away you are from everything.
Yeah.
So they changed the route this year. So like the last 2 years, this is my third year doing the marathon in person in Disney. I did it virtually, which that's soul crushing, by the way, to do a virtual marathon.
Yeah.
But this year they changed the route a little bit, and usually the roads after Animal Kingdom suck. But this year they made us do circles or zigzags around the Magic Kingdom parking lot to make up for that before we went to Animal Kingdom. And then with the help of Theme Park Rob, I discovered that I could also buy drinks in Animal Kingdom. So I got myself a beer, and that made that little space before I got to Hollywood Studios wonderful.
Oh. Well, a little relax the body a little bit.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that you needed a little bit of help while in Animal Kingdom.
No, it's after Animal Kingdom. After Animal
I misunderstood.
It's something to look forward to. Like,
right.
I get out of this park.
Yeah.
I get out of here.
Yeah.
Do you think the success of the marathon, because the marathon started when I was a cast member there, I think it was 96 or 97 or whatever, but do you think the only reason why it still exists is because of the Animal Kingdom and they know that they need a reason for people to run over there? Like they need more people over there?
We actually don't go through much of Animal Kingdom. No. It's actually very sad, but also we go through even less this year. We went through less of Hollywood Studios than we have in the past. Which is upsetting, but
yeah, I guess you can't like run the safari track, right? That would be disturbing to the animals.
No, just a little bit. We go for Animal Kingdom. We go into like where Africa is, and then we go around and we exit out the back of Dino Land. Little upset because I didn't realize that was going to be the last day that Dino Land was open because I could have jumped on the Triceratops spin in the middle of the race, but I didn't because I was distracted by my beer. But
are there because you've done Cosmic Rewind mid-marathon, right? No, you haven't done that.
No.
Okay.
No, I've done Everest.
Oh, Everest. Okay.
So the thing is that you can't get through pre-shows. If you do any rides, you still have to sit through the pre-shows. So that's why some of them with longer pre-shows. People have done Tower of Terror. That scares me a little bit. That's a longer pre-show.
Yeah.
I did Everest, my first one. Last year, they legit were like, no runners. We don't have room for runners. This year, they were very weird. They were very sneaky with their verbiage because they were saying standby line only. And I thought that meant guests only. So I passed by and really just meant we don't have the single rider line open. Runners can go on the standby line. So they were very, very sneaky and I got hoodwinked and it's not going to happen again.
Is that in advance, that, or is that just based on cast member telling you stuff along the way?
What do you mean?
Like that standby versus single rider, like that knowledge. Do you learn? Do you get like here's what's going on, or is it as you're running going, are you open? Are you open? Are you
So-
open?
So anything that's open, you can ride. So I've heard tales of people going on Tower of Terror, of going on to Dinosaur, going on if you're late enough, because it's also the park has to be open. So we go through Magic Kingdom super duper early.
Yeah.
But people have been on, I know someone has done the teacups before. So just Everest ends up being at the right time, like where it's like you're still far enough in the race where you're not about to get swept, but it's late enough that the park's open.
A few things. One, Ryan mentioned run the safari and let the animals chase the runners. And I mean, that might give me the motivation I need.
I would totally do that. That'd be so thrilling.
I'd probably have nightmares for years. But Lewis is also mentioning that he's seeing an 80-minute time limit for the 5K. And that maybe he could meet that requirement. So maybe maybe we don't do 3 years and we do 2 years and 2 more meetups. Maybe we all do a 5K together as our meetup. My next question is, where does the 5K take you? Because these early mornings in the park are always the things that sell me on it. Like, I really want to do that.
Okay, so all of the races start in the Epcot parking lot.
Right.
5K goes through Epcot World Showcase. So I think you do a little road, and then you go through World Showcase past Spaceship Earth and out the exit near Mission Space. So like the finish is also always in the same space. So.
All right. I mean, that's doable. I could do that.
What park do you want? Wait, what park do you want, Jen?
Well, I think Epcot, because that's the only one that doesn't have 5K.
Come on, say Magic Kingdom. You know you want Magic Kingdom.
I mean, there is, a little morning dew in Magic Kingdom would be magical.
You want to like run through the castle?
Run? I mean,
stroll.
Little jog, little shuffle. Yeah. What is the shortest race I could do and get into Magic Kingdom?
Half.
Oh, half. No. Where does the 10K take you?
The 10K also starts in Epcot, and like the routes change, but the 10K starts and ends in the Epcot parking lot. Okay. And usually you go out and you'll do like the boardwalk, beach and yacht club, and then Epcot.
I mean, that's lovely. All right. Things to think about.
Come on. You want to run. When you curve down the corner to Main Street and you have like hundreds of strangers screaming for you, it's like the best feeling ever.
I mean, I believe that. Of course.
So just to recap quickly, if there's a meetup for holiday parties in November, are we then saying there would be a 14-month gap between November 2025 and January 27?
Well, I mean, technically there's a 14-month gap if we were to plan November from the last one.
So we could be in 14-month gaps. So are we announcing 2 meetups?
I mean, it's also probably going to be really cold in January. I need to.
This year was really, really cold. It's been chilly, but it's been like nice in the past. This year is the first one where I was like freezing my butt off.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're in 14-month. So all right. So November 2025, January 2027, unofficially. Yeah.
Also unofficially. I mean, but it could work. That could be doable.
Jen, what would we have to do as a podcast community to get you to run, walk the half?
If you were going to say the full, I would have been like,
nothing. No, I would never do that to anyone.
I appreciate that. Take me through the half. Where am I going? Take me through the route.
So the half you start in Epcot, you go around like World Showcase, or sometimes it's just part of Epcot. Then you go out on the road.
Yeah.
You go to Magic Kingdom. You go down Main Street. Usually, and like I said, they sometimes change it a little bit, but usually we turn at Tomorrowland.
Okay.
We go through New Fantasyland. We go through the castle, exit through Frontierland, Adventureland, and then exit right next to Splash. And then come back down to Epcot.
All right, I could perhaps come up with conditions. Maybe we like do it as a fundraiser of some sort or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right.
Right.
It's a lot of planning. It's the 2 years away.
Planning. So much planning.
Interesting.
Would you say then that maybe like we're rubbing off on you guys? Since
Oh.
you're like, look at you.
Intriguing. Intriguing.
A little.
I see.
A little bit.
Jeffers is seeking for clarity. He thought November of 2025 was already locked down. I mean, we're not talking about any other weekend right now. So
Right.
if we were to lock it down.
When did we make plans last year? Was it January as well? Lexi knows the date, right? No.
No, 2 years ago you made plans in January. Last year I think you made them in like June.
We probably made it at the start of Dillo's madness, and then that just continued forever, and so it's all the same.
Actually, now you say, I think it was like you kept saying we'll discuss it when Dillo's madness is over, and Jeffers and I were like panicking on the side, being like, "Oh my god, what's going on? When are they going to talk about it?"
Yeah. Jeffers, have you booked all of November at this point at the resorts, or March last year? He says
March last year. Jeffers is confirming, but he does. I know he has November 6th through 10th booked.
Okay, all right. Ryan, Ryan, are you in for this marathon? Because if Ryan is in, that would be amazing. Oh, a little New York City horn honking there. Because I like the idea of that. Ryan, are you in for November and the marathon weekend? I'm just no pressure, whatever brings you joy. But yeah, Jeffers, everyone start training because this will probably happen. But so just start training now, and we'll let you know like the month before if we're doing it. So
We could do like a pedal session where like I call everyone's intervals when we talk in between.
oh, yeah. Can we do the little sidestep thing? You know, we do this. Like I always liked that thing.
I didn't have us committing to running races here on this recording today, but
no, here we are. Here we are. Lewis said, did hear that horn? Must have been quite loud. Yeah, and that was not the Dillo's Madness horn. Although we were discussing Dillo's Madness, please don't get confused. We're not kicking off this year's Dillo's Madness here on the podcast. Theme Park Rob saying he's only running if something's chasing him.
I can chase him.
Lexi will chase you, Rob. So boom, done. Yeah.
I mean, Lexi, would you encourage Theme Park Rob to do the 5K, 10K, or just the 5K? Should everybody do the 5K together and then slowly?
2? You're having me do 2 now?
No, you weren't doing just a half. We got to do the 3 days, right?
Yeah.
The 3 days.
So 5K is just a walk, so everyone would have no problem with it.
Cool.
You walk that amount in the park. You walk more than that in the park.
Yeah.
5K is the hardest to get into though because of that.
Yeah, I see that.
So you would need to come up with maybe would people be willing to do the 10K because if it fills up. And if this is the case, then it sounds like you guys are setting me up to do the dopey again, which then Jen has to do the half because that's how happy I'll be about doing the dopey.
This is a lot. This is all a lot of planning.
All the betrayals happening to Lexi.
So much. Right. Lewis saying, I actually have just given in and realized if someone starts chasing me, that is the end. Oh, all right. Ryan said he can drink and cheer on runners, possibly. So.
No, we must go. It's all or nothing. We all have to do one of these together in order for it to happen.
Can you all commit to the 5K right here, right now in 2 years? Thank you.
With the 10K as a backup.
With the 10K as a backup because it might be easier to get into. Thank you.
By the way, walking pace is like 16, 17 minutes. It's not like it's not that bad at all.
Jeffer says Lexi on Disney Day. Where is everyone? Why am I the only one here, guys?
You think if the Dillos aren't showing up for something, wait till everyone doesn't show up.
No, I have a feeling that if we were to do such a race, that I would have to have everyone's room number so I can be like, "Wake up, we're going now."
Hello. Yeah. And what time do we have to get up for these races? Like 2:30? Whatever. It's the wake up time.
Yeah, like 2:30.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, at that point, we could just stay up at Pedals the night before.
Oh, right. You know, just keep it going. We just start at Pedals. We start the day at Pedals at like midnight. And then, you know.
Yeah. And then after you end in Epcot, then we can go back into the World Showcase and just end at Beer Garden.
Right. I like this. Ryan, we were talking 26 or 27. The runs would be 27.
7.
Yes. Yes, we're all hydrating at Pedals. Yes. Oh, there's still a lot of horns happening in Astoria today. Everyone's very angry over there.
Or they're celebrating.
Oh, they're celebrating
this potential, like,
all of our planning.
Possibility, yeah.
Well, sky's the limit, guys. All right. Well, we have 2 meetups planned. Nothing booked. So cool. All right. That sounds about right. All right. And you might do the Dopey this year. Maybe.
Well, it
next year.
There's a lot in discussion because I still have no idea what's going on with the I have that race in France that I want to do this year.
Right.
I have to find out first if my friend's going to do it with me or not because I'm not doing it without him. One, because it's drinking while during a marathon in France, and 2, he has a master in French, so I don't have to worry about learning anything.
Oh yeah, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
But,
and then that has a really weird like registration system. Like apparently they're not releasing the registration date, so you just have to keep checking there and hope you're lucky.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, they're like the month of March. Registration is in the month of March. Like, that's great.
I mean, it sounds like Dillo's run that. Maybe French Dillo's run that account.
Are you related to them? Do you have family over in Bordeaux?
Yes.
There's some Christmas decor still up during these runs also that want to incentivize.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
So it'll be 2 consecutive meetups so we did 2 not so scary meetups. Then we would have 2 meetups of holiday decor.
Yeah. Because we were there during the runs in 2018.
Okay.
And because a lot of things were shut down and whatever, we're like, oh, this is a marathon weekend. We forgot. But we had been there that whole week. So yeah, all the decor was still up. And that would be nice to see. Huh.
All right. So there it is. 2 meetups ready to go.
Fun. All right. Well,
good.
We've accomplished everything we needed here today.
What are we going to talk
what's going
about
to happen on Dillo's Diz.
All right. So then let's just talk about everything surrounding the runs before we move on to Disneyland here. What was your plan of attack? What were your goals during your time surrounding the runs? Just rides as much as you can. Was that the plan?
So we got in on Saturday. We did Expo, which is at the ESPN. You have to get your bibs, which is the number. And that's where you also get all your merch and stuff, like your Spirit jerseys.
Nice.
And then we did Ohana for dinner that night, and then went to bed early because we had to wake up at 2 a.m.
Right. Makes sense.
Which, by the way, is 2 a.m. is actually an hour. They started the buses at 2 a.m. And I was like, I'm going to sleep in an hour, which I'm not going to do again because it was a little hectic. I like being on the first bus.
Now I'm making a face. Meanwhile, Jen and I got up at 3:30 a.m. to leave Pop Century for the airport the Sunday of the meetup.
That's true.
So like, well, what am I complaining about in my
But
head?
we were just walking to sit in a car, to sit on a plane, to go home. I mean, we weren't running. We weren't getting up in that time to run.
I mean, you're walking to sit on a bus, to walk through the Epcot parking lot, to sit on the ground, to then run. So there's still a lot of sitting.
I just want to say, like, and I wasn't recalling this until the Galaxy's Edge opening day, is that standing outside in the middle of the night in a Disney theme park is the weirdest thing. Like it's just like, that all that energy was happening. And then there's this kind of this silence over, even though the people around you like are just waking up. So it's just this weird thing that happens. And I kind of love it. So in some ways, maybe I need to experience that again. Of just being out in whatever silent, weird, middle of the night, Lake Buena Vista theme parky thing that exists in that bubble when the energy leaves for a little while. I'm giving myself some pros here.
It is like you're surrounded by thousands of runners, but it is like crazy, like how exclusive it feels. and like going through all the backstage areas and stuff, and having characters out that, and like everyone's still running a race. So they're not taking 5 million photos. Everyone's going up, they're smiling, they're getting into their pose, and they're running. So it's like the fastest character line in the world. You got like local bands playing on the side, like church choirs are singing for you. It's so cool. It really is.
Yeah. Fine, Lexi, we'll probably do it.
So Marathon Day, our only goal was basically to go back into Epcot. So afterwards, we went into Epcot. We did Guardians of the Galaxy with Lewis. Then we got to say hi to Val before we did it again. I'm happy that I was able to get my virtual queue for Guardians of the Galaxy, because last year I was like, why is my alarm going off in the middle of my run? And then like 15 minutes later, I was like, oh my God, that's my virtual queue. So I missed it, but I did it this year.
Nice.
And then we ate at Beer Garden, went back to Pop, passed out, and then came back for Luminous.
That was the first time at Beer Garden, though, right?
Oh my God, I love Beer Garden.
Yeah.
Beer Garden, I always want to go to it, but and again, what is Disney math these days? But for some reason, I back off on the price of the Beer Garden sometimes. I don't know why, but maybe I'm past that. The last time I did it, I know that was the thing. I was like, do I want to? The kid, she likes sausages, but is she gonna like these sausages? I don't know. It's not worth the risk.
Yeah.
It was hard with like figuring, because my brother, even though he is 22, he acts like a 10-year-old. Love him to death, he knows it. But like it's the same thing, because I usually treat him to the buffets, and it's like, you're not gonna eat $60 worth of food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing about the buffets is the will they make their quota? Is
right. Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then the next day, it was your final day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you ran the gauntlet practically.
Yeah. So we figured we were in the park for 17 hours. We rope dropped Rise.
Nice.
And like, I don't know, I'm very proud of this. I don't think I'm ever going to have a moment like this. We managed to outwalk the crowd in such a way that we legit were the first people who were escorted through the entire line of Rise to get to the front.
Yeah, that was such a cool video. Yeah.
Oh my God. They had three cast members like walking through, making sure nobody was like jumping anything, and like but yeah, we basically had Hollywood Studios mostly done by like 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Nice.
I regret what I'm about to say right now. So we went to Animal Kingdom, and we got everything we wanted to do at Animal Kingdom done in 3 hours. But that's also because we didn't get to walk any of the trails, because neither of us could walk very well, and we still were only halfway through with our day.
Did you go to Nomad that day?
We did not go to Nomad.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. We did like a lot of our food was like grab and go that day.
Yeah.
We knew we wanted to do Ogas. So like my friend, he had the cheese bread. I didn't, because we got the waffle bowls over on Sunset Boulevard, and that was like really filling. So I was still full.
Nice. Half a day in Animal Kingdom. Oh, sounds about right.
3 hours. 3 hours, you say?
And Flight of Passage, actually, I hit my lightning lanes. I planned all of them perfectly. I planned my lines perfectly. So Flight of Passage was the only line we ended up actually waiting in all day. So
nice.
Now, as you don't have another trip planned, right? So you were sadder than usual as you were leaving, because I know the meetup weekend is in flux for you because of all the things you've mentioned.
I'm pretty certain I'm going back next January.
But what about November? Just kidding.
That depends on France.
So is that easier for? I mean, is that the story you tell yourself is like, I'm always gonna run. So at least there is that.
I mean, out of all, like, I do enjoy the marathon, but like the Run Disney Marathon is just something special because everyone is in it. Everyone's so nice. Everyone dresses up in like Disney characters. Like people, you're allowed to be kooky and silly. Like there are serious runners, but like they know what they're getting themselves into. You go to other races and people are super serious or they're trying to hit their goals. There are still fun people, but the fun people are in the minority.
Yeah.
In Disney, it's like everyone's just like ready to be silly and have fun. So that one I feel like I have to do every year.
We can't decide on outfits, Jeffers, for the run just yet. It takes us a while to even figure out our not so scary costumes. So, one step at a time. And then we'll get into that. And Jeffers is saying November, Lexi. So
Jeffers, I can tell you though, registration for Marathon Weekend happens mid-March. So at least by next year, mid-March, they will have to have decided.
Oh,
I love this. Puts us ahead of the game. It's perfect.
Yeah, see, and we're talking about November, Jeffers. You have November booked. Here last year, you and Lexi secretly plotting. Now Lexi's giving you nothing. See, it just turns around.
And then I just want to finish that day because that day is almost done.
Yeah, you pivot back to the story you were on.
Here right now.
We did after hours in Magic Kingdom, so we were there until 1:00.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's talk about. I'm like, oh my God, this is why we started earlier today.
Yes.
But talk about, because I don't know if I'll ever do an after hours party. I say until that's the third meetup.
That's the third meetup that we're planning. Yeah.
So what did you feel like you got? Because that was a lot of talk during the September meetup. So did you feel like you got your money's worth? Did you do all the things that you hoped the money you're paying gets you?
Okay. So, because I'm thinking on this, so I made one mistake, and my first mistake was that when we got to Magic Kingdom, we kind of sat and chilled for a little bit without looking at the lines. And what I didn't realize is it looks like Disney actually puts their fireworks show a little bit earlier to kind of convince people to leave early, even though the park isn't actually closed.
Yes.
So I feel like I probably could have, if we had just attacked the rides right off the bat, we probably could have gotten some walk-on rides immediately, even though the party hadn't officially started. So that was my first mistake. Our other mistake isn't really a mistake, but like we lost 1 hour to Tron. We did two rides on Tron, which is still really good, but that was an hour, like 30 minutes each line.
Okay.
Seven Dwarfs and Peter Pan were about 20-minute lines. But other than that, like legit walking on everything. Like there's unlimited popcorn, ice cream bars, ice cream sandwiches, and bottled sodas. And they're just like at little, because everything else is closed. So like they have their kiosks and they're just passing it out. So, I mean, we felt like celebrities walking with our giant popcorn, just walking down the Space Mountain line and nobody's there. We're like, oh, I guess I gotta close my popcorn to get in because there's no wait. That was pretty epic. I do still think because it's only 3 hours. I think 4 hours would make me feel better just because of those longer waits that do exist.
Yeah.
But I would do it again. I would. I wasn't disappointed at all. It was like a very and it had that feeling that you're talking about. Like the park was very quiet and there was some people coming and like there didn't feel like there was anyone there.
Yeah.
Didn't go to the fireworks show. They showed Enchantment for after hours. We decided to ride the People Mover instead.
Yes. Always a good decision. Can you work that into the half marathon?
The people and well, so if no, because the Magic Kingdom won't be open. Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's a very quick ride, so it wouldn't mess up timing at all.
Right. It's the fact that the park's not open yet.
All right. That's okay.
All right. About 15 minutes ago, I was going to use your Lightning Lane conversation to pivot to Disneyland, but I think this will probably be our biggest debate because you did 2 days in Disneyland or 3 days? 2 days.
2 days.
And it was the holidays, so just busy madness week.
Yeah.
So your choice of the Lightning Lane is legitimate, just like, okay, I need this for these 2 days at this time of year. And right now we are considering not using the Lightning Lane option for our trip in February, but in the overall, I think, did you feel that what you paid was what you're worth? That's my theme right now. What you paid is what you got. And
100%.
Mhm.
Like you said, though, there was crowds. It was crowded. It was not what I pictured in my mind. I lowered my expectations.
Dillo them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But well worth it, because I was like, we're going to be walking like this the whole time. I'll spend 4 hours to get on Haunted Mansion, and I'll see fireworks. Like, that's where I put my brain. And then you saw my massive list, which I was like, I was kicking butt with the Lightning Lanes, and their Lightning Lane and the one in Florida were completely different, which was fun, that I had to learn 2 different systems that were brand new, and try to conquer them also at the same time.
Yeah.
But
and what were the I mean, I didn't play this game until recently, of looking at wait times at specific times of the week. We're recording this on a Wednesday, so knowing that I will be there on a Wednesday in a couple of weeks, I will look at like, oh, what's the timing of attractions at this time of day. But what was the wait times of some of the attractions versus what you got through with the Lightning Lane?
So like our Lightning Lane, I was kind of would get on within 5 minutes. A lot of the attractions, I'm gonna be honest, because I still think no matter what you do with the Lightning Lane, rope drop is still the way to go. And like a real rope drop, like be there, 40 minutes before the actual rope drops. Like, because that first hour, I got like 4 or 5 rides done, and it was just because I knew where to go. I would say look at the park map at least, so that you don't get confused, because especially in Disneyland, I was like, I know where I'm going, and I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. So like, just look at that. I made sure in Disneyland to actually also in California Adventure, but like the rides that are exactly the same, I did not do.
Yeah.
So
and I think based off of we talked to Tom and Michelle of the Hyperion Adventures podcast last week, and some of those things we addressed of like, okay, what is the same that I should do versus not do? What is a little more different than others? I think that's like, even someone like me who doesn't ride the Jungle Cruise a lot in Florida, I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but I recognize. I'm like, I saw the Imagineering story. I know what it took to get all those trees over there. I kind of want to see that. I feel like those things are make it hard.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think out of all of them, the most surreal for me was Space Mountain, because like the whole entrance is completely different.
Yeah,
completely different. And then the ride also, you're like, it looks the same, but it looks different, but it was a very weird sensation to like just go through that one. Thunder Mountain, I know, is supposed to be different, but it didn't feel that different to me. Pirates was awesome.
Yeah. The extra Pirates.
And I got to like, so Haunted Mansion, when I did that, it was on the overlay. Was in the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, and I don't think I've ever been that absolutely excited in my life. Like, it's not an overlay. It literally is like they redo the entire ride. Like it's not, overlay sounds like such a loose term.
Yeah.
But I was literally like, I was like and then like we go down the whole, like you go down the hill like you do, and like Jack Skellington is like an animatronic of him is where the grave keeper usually is, and I literally, I was like, I was absolutely in love for that entire ride. But
now I envision you solo there. You were solo in the park? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. There's a lot of also like with Disneyland, there's a lot of single rider lines. If you guys don't mind getting separated, I didn't actually have to use them because of the Lightning Lane. And then like almost all their food is mobile order. So I was, when I got on my first line, I mobile ordered my lunch so that it was already like the time slot wasn't gone when I was hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I haven't really scoped out yet, with being a few weeks away here, is the quick service and the options and but that's good to know that mobile ordering is there to help quicken it. But and rope drop is definitely the thing, because you mentioned to me that the crowd goes towards Galaxy's Edge, which is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
What we know.
Yeah, that was great. And like, so I had heard that Indiana Jones like breaks down a lot, and like when I got in the park it was already broken down. So I just kept an eye on it so that as soon as it opened I ran my butt over there, and that ride is amazing. Like, oh my god.
Well, that's where I've been talking about the Matterhorn for years, like, but Matterhorn and Indiana Jones, I feel like those are I gotta do those early, just so I know I did them and I don't get disappointed.
Matterhorn is painful.
I think Tom and Michelle said that too, didn't they?
So painful. Like I kept looking at my touring plans and it would be like, oh, Matterhorn's only 20 minutes. And I was like, I can't go on it again. I was like, it'll ruin the rest of my day. I did it once. We're good.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say, but and for us, the park is open till midnight, and Mrs. Dillo is like, we're not staying there at midnight every week with the kid. And I was like, but if I go back into the park, is that okay?
It's open the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's like no line for the monorail. Like I was like, I want to go on the monorail, and no one was there. And I was like, do you guys not know what this is? This is the Disneyland monorail. What is wrong with you people?
Where is everyone? Do you think your favorite attractions would be Haunted Mansion? I don't know. Where would you rank the others on there?
I mean, my two standouts are Haunted Mansion and Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, I really, really liked their Pirates of the Caribbean because it is significantly longer.
Yeah.
But I also like one of my big things, because I have been to Disneyland before, but it was like a day trip. I worked in Vegas for a small period of time performing. And we had a long weekend where my mom came and visited me, and we took my brother, who was like 4 at the time, to Disneyland. So it was more about like getting him on things that he wanted to do than anything else. So the one thing that stood out from that trip was I have to have lunch at the Blue Bayou, and I did, and it did not disappoint. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool. We have that reservation, so we're looking forward to that as well. You know, we have talked here at home about whether the intimacy of the parks will, especially for Mrs. Dillo, who really liked before Epic opens here, that you took a boat from the resort, you came out, you got both options, you could run in, it all felt very together. Yeah, at Universal. So what did I say? Did I say Disneyland?
No, I think you were. Yeah,
I just didn't say Universal. Yeah, Universal. So she really liked that about Universal in June, and feels like she will have that same kind of experience. And whether that means she likes it more than Disney World, I mean, pros and cons. Lexi, do you like the intimacy? Do you like that it's close like that, or do you prefer? I know you were off property.
Do not like that. But I can understand now why like people who are West Coasters say they like it more, is because it does feel more convenient. You feel more like when you leave one ride, you can jump on the other. Right. But for me, like also because like Florida's my park, that makes it feel a little bit more amusement parky to me. Like, yes, that means we're walking like 30 to 40,000 steps a day, but like you're in a new land. Like, you have to go on a journey to get to the next ride. So that I didn't care for, but I also was there on a holiday weekend. So as soon as you left, you're like, oh, people, there's people. They're everywhere.
Yeah. And you can kind of see the outside from inside the park, right? Whereas in World, you don't see the outsiders anywhere or random buildings or, whatever. And that's how, if you go to Sesame Place or any of the more local you see all of that from inside the park. You're like, oh,
yeah,
that's
I don't like
weird.
That. Funny enough, though, you don't see the castle. Want to know why? It's so small.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been trying to ease the kid into like I'm like it's
Oh,
not as big as
it's such a cute little castle.
and because I know you like the snacks and the treats and all the things. Disneyland. What are your top recommendations?
Okay, so you're writing this down, right, Frank?
Sure. I'll listen on the plane.
He's going to be
Okay,
listening
all
to all the podcasts on the plane. Yeah.
If no one's belly gets upset by like fried foods and stuff, the breakfast chimichanga in Frontierland, that Ship to Shore is the name of the stand, is phenomenal. But it is a chimichanga, so it's fried. The Matterhorn macaroons, not macaron. It's the coconut one, are really good.
Okay.
And that's at Disneyland. And at both parks, you can get the churro toffee, which is a fresh toffee with like churro, like cinnamon sugar dusted on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the pastries, I just mobile ordered and grabbed them on my way out of the park and like eat them.
Yeah.
Kim's Test Kitchen was just fun. It's a fun place to go. It's a quick service though. But the food is really like fun the way they plated everything. Yeah. But and I liked the churros, but I also don't eat the Disney World churros, so they just tasted like good churros to me.
Right. So, churros are hit and miss for me always, but people are like, well, the Disneyland churros, the Disneyland corn dogs too, I think is.
I didn't do the corn dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they had Festival of the Holidays, so I hit a few of those, like some of the different stuff there.
What are the Dole Whip rules related to Disneyland? Are there any, Jen?
Interesting. I mean, I don't know what they would be at Disneyland.
Right. I didn't know. Like, do I have to try it because we may need to like make an addendum? Like, what is the?
I mean, if you're going to try it, then you probably have to do it at like the OG park, not California Adventure. Probably. To properly compare.
Well, I know the West Coasters are obsessed with putting tahini on it. So do you have to do it that way then?
I don't know. You do whatever you think is best.
I'll poll a lot of people and see what.
Yes,
what gets
exactly.
Said. It's complicated. That's complicating our Dole Whip rules by going to Disneyland. This is why we never went.
Well, we probably have to cancel it and redo it and do something else.
Frank, if you do decide to do Lightning Lane, just remember that PhotoPass is included with that.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing I forget.
I keep meaning to ask if you got PhotoPass for Disneyland or not.
I have not as of yet. But my thought is to like gauge how the first day goes to see if I need it for the last day. That's kind of how I feel.
There's not a lot of ride photos. And if there are, you have to add the number in. Don't make that mistake.
So old school.
You have to go into the app and type the number in. So a lot of people will take like a photo of their photo and then type the number in later. And then as far as characters, like a lot of the characters that stop don't have a PhotoPass person with them. And they'll take a lot of photos with your camera.
I like what you said. They stop. Do you find more meandering characters? I know Tom and Michelle talked about the Marvel characters walking around Avengers campus, but.
Yeah, there was a lot of walk around characters and like just lines that would open up randomly out of nowhere. So that was cool because I got some surprise like sightings in there.
Nice.
That's good to know.
Feels a little more OG that way.
Yeah. I like that. See, I'm very torn between like, and I want to hit what I want to hit and see some of the new things, Guardians thing, just to see what that's like. But also I'm like, I really want to ride the Storybook Canals and Alice in Wonderland because those are older. So I'm really in that in between, like the stuff.
I had such a great time doing Mr. Toad's and the Submarine Voyage, because my earliest Disney memories include the Haunted Mansion, 20,000 Leagues, and Mr. Toad. And now 2 of those are not in Florida anymore.
Yeah.
So like that was fun to revisit that. Where did you fall on the dessert party for World of Color?
We passed at present. So
at present, there's still time.
I mean, I don't know what the kid price is. It's probably not. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably where the painful part is.
That is where the just similar to the Epcot beer garden. It's the it's the same concept. Where I was like, oh no.
Yeah, because like as an adult doing, like you get like a little tray that has like meat, that has like cheese and grapes and cookies and all kinds of desserts on it. They'll even give you a to-go box when it's time to leave too. So if you don't eat it, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then like you get 2 adult drinks.
Yeah.
But the thing that was vital to me is like, so it's like set up so like the lake is here and people stand here, and then the dessert party has chairs up here. So you have like a clear cut view. You set up like an hour before the party, before the show, but you're also sitting. So like where you would be standing and defending your spot and possibly getting a kid popped up in front of you. You get to sit for that. And for me, I was like, this is the best. Also, I was at the end of a very long day. So I was like, this is great. This is totally worth it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, I guess the things I should have researched by now, but I have not. But now I have to write this down so I remember to research it.
Yeah.
But our Pixar Place room, I believe, has a view of California Adventure. Is that something to my benefit? I don't know. Yeah. Nobody. What would you say? Like, you're elevated, so you have good. If I'm really elevated,
I mean, I feel like you should be able to see it, but it was such a good show. Like, and I think part of it was how close it is to you, because it's like hundreds and hundreds of water jets, like and like it just was beautiful. And I didn't even see the original version. I was watching the holiday version. And I just like that show was amazing. And I did California Adventure first. So I left with like this like elated feeling, but I left and I was like, I don't need to see the fireworks tomorrow. I'm going to do rides instead, because I was like standing in the middle of a crowded Main Street. There's no way you're going to surpass this feeling that I have right now.
Yeah.
Right. I'm good.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. That makes sense.
It's like an important to be able to say, I'm good. Because then you get so much more done. Like it just is like, okay, I'm okay with this. Let's go. I can pivot.
Yeah. It was a happy, content experience. Nothing's gonna surpass it. So let's find something else.
Yeah. All right. So you're epic. Now, when you're in Vegas, do you play the slots? What do you do?
No, my best friend lives in Vegas, so I was like I got to hang out with her because I haven't seen her in about 5 years.
Yeah.
The reason why my family, because it was such a weird choice, because this is my mom's side of the family, and they're from Wyoming and Minnesota. So I was like, why are we going to Vegas? And it was because we went down to Page, Arizona, which was beautiful, like absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, your pictures are amazing.
I'm still reeling on it, which is actually really funny because Radiator Racers at California Adventure takes you through like a similar like setting.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful ride, but it was a little underwhelming after having just done the real thing.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, if we had reversed these, I would have been like, and I was like, this is cute. They did a good job.
Right. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Jen, you got anything else? Yeah.
I was going to ask you if Vegas is next on your list now that you're venturing so much to the West Coast, so much being once in 50 years.
Have you been to Vegas, Jen?
I have been to Vegas.
What? I got to get out there eventually. It makes it hard. We keep talking about all these things, and we have meetups planned. How am I going to fit in Vegas? We got 2 meetups planned.
2029 Vegas.
Well, slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
See, I looped it all the way back to the race.
Oh, look what you did. There. I can knock your microphone down.
Things fine. All right. Well, Lexi, there's a lot of information for me to process here. And again, not knowing that we were going to end up talking about committing to running. So now my brain is flooded.
Oh, yeah. Look. I got my medal. Look how pretty they are.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good one.
I like all this merch you got. You got a lot of merch. I like it.
after the race, everyone wears their medals into the park, and everyone, like other guests, the cast members, everyone's like, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. You're like,
now that like all the merch, do you get that for anything you sign up for? Is it certain levels? How does that work?
so with your race, you get a shirt. So not this one.
Yeah.
Like it's a tech shirt that has like the race that you ran on front of it.
Okay.
On the front of it. That's what you get with your registration.
Okay.
And then you get the medal at the end of the race.
Okay.
Everything else you have to buy.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Jen's trying to write down our pros and cons.
Just
Ooh, but we found out something new this year. The ESPN, it's not new. I just never knew about it. So like at ESPN, they have like a beer kiosk or whatever, where I think it's for $15 you buy a plastic cup and you get a beer in it. But if you keep bringing that cup back there or to the finish where they have a stand, it's like $8 refills, $8.09 refills.
Okay.
And it's good from here on out. So I can bring this year's cup back next year.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Nice.
good.
Bonus.
Do you think that beer tastes better than the Animal Kingdom beer? It's really
Well, I mean, I'm done racing, so I think it has to do more with being done with the race.
Right.
got it. Yeah.
It's a whole experience.
I
then.
see.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
more
I
celebratory.
mean, I feel like you're giving an argument to do the marathon, because then you're like, think how fast you'll be once you're in Animal Kingdom. You'll be like, oh my God, I gotta get out.
In 2 years, if I somehow make it alive through the half marathon, not that we're definitely committed. I can commit to 5 and 10.
Jeffers, are you recording right now?
This will be saved forever. Forever? When people start going, you said you committed. We're like, we did. No, we did. We did say that.
Videos being sent out to everyone in the group right now, just in case.
When we have our friend Natalie from the Stride Sisters on.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll wrap things up here on this edition of Theme Park Thursday, the final Theme Park Thursday of the month of January.
January over.
Jen's another year older. She's back from her trip, so that means trip reports in the next episode,
week. Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
On that side.
Yeah.
So we'll find out all the shenanigans that happened around those couple of days. Jen, will you do Lightning Lane for that?
No.
Lexi, you want to give out your Instas before we go?
Oh, yes. I'm on Instagram at Lexi Dance Flyer.
Nice.
That's Lexi.
Daily dose of Diz every day.
Yep.
Yep.
That's how I justify taking way too many photos at Disney.
Lexi, of course, a guest of DillosDizResort.com, our Patreon, with memberships beginning as low as $1 per month. DillosDizResort.com, now celebrating 4 glorious years this month.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday, as we are recording this. On the 21st of January.
Interesting.
So until next time, she's Jen, that's Lexi, I'm Frank. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace. The Dillo's Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo-Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snidillo Studios. Dillo's Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit DillosDizResort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillo's Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, DillosDiz.com. Dillo's Diz Podcast 2025.